Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Woman's Mindset. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I have another fabulous author with us today from the book, The Successful Woman's Mindset, 21 Journeys to Success. Welcome, Sonia.
Hi.
It's so much fun to have you here. I'm going to share a little bit about Sonia, and then we're going to jump right in so we can learn all about your chapter. Sonia Petkewich is CEO of Taurean Consulting and Catalyst Mastermind let me say it again, Collaborative. So let me do it again. Catalyst Mastermind Collaborative.
Yes.
It sounds very fancy when you say it right. So when you say it wrong, it doesn't sound so good. So thank you for joining us, Sonia. And one of the things I'd love to start off with right away is, what does the successful woman's mindset mean to you when you hear that?
Well, it's definitely a beingness for me. And I think it was sort of a blessing that this opportunity came to me to be a part of this book and this collaboration, because as we're all in the midst of this pandemic and downturn, I was really in what I call the bottom of the Corona coaster right before I saw this posting. And I was reaching out to a business coach and a personal actually development coach. And he was like, well, what can you do? And I was just feeling like sort of victim-y, and my mindset was definitely in the gutter. And he reminded me how much a mindset is a beingness, right? It's what we choose to do. And, the company tagline that I have behind me is expand the realm of possible. And so I really just put it out into the universe. Like, I need to do some work to get the success back that I want to have, and to be control of what I want to create this year in 2020, not letting 2020 define me, letting it refine me. And lo and behold, this opportunity came up, and it really got me thinking that success is a mindset. It's where we put ourselves. It's where we put our thoughts and our efforts, and what drives the energy around us. And then what we put out there comes back to us. And so I do know that choosing in not only to writing this book, but to surrounding myself with other successful women, to surrounding myself with a success conversation without guilt, with really just focusing on what can I control, what can I contribute, where can I be of service. That changed everything for me back in July, August timeframe, and everything just sort of started to fall into place. I mean, I have to do the work, but the work starts right in my mindset and where my head is at.
It's so true. The way that you put it is so great, because at the end of the day, we're all going through things all the time, even before times like this. There's always something going on in our lives, going on in our business, going on in our families. It's just life. I wish I had this magic wand where I can make everything great for everybody all the time, but it's just not the way it works. And I love the word that you use, define. That's the word I want to focus on today.
Yeah.
You said I had a choice to let it define me.
Yeah.
And I chose
Define
not
me
to.
or refine me.
Or refine you, yes. But I love the word define, because it really does begin and end with, am I going to allow this experience? Am I going to allow what's happening right now to me, for me, at me, who cares?
Right.
Be a part of what I'm doing every day and the choices I'm making, or am I going to change that? So let's talk about that. With anybody listening and watching, if they say to you, Sonia, how can I not allow what I'm going through right now, whatever it might be, to not define me? What would you say to them?
Well, I think it has to go with, things don't happen to us. They happen because of us. And in just the context of me, things don't happen to me.
I like that.
I'm not a victim to the circumstances around me. I get to choose my beingness. So when I do find myself, and this is maybe something I would tell other women out there, or leaders, that when you start to think like, why is this happening to me? Shift that mindset to, what am I doing? How am I being that might be attracting this, that might be causing this? Because at the end of the day, we all come from a place of personal responsibility and what we're choosing into from a thought and a mindset perspective. And so when I find myself in that victim sort of, why is this happening to me? I do think that's letting the circumstance define me. And that's letting, the economy, the market, politics, social injustice, all of that define what I choose to wake up and focus my energy on every day. And while those are important things, I can choose to be in a place of, how can I shift that? How can I spin this in a positive way? How can I create a positive outcome? How can I be of contribution? How can I pick up the phone and maybe talk to somebody else who I might see is having a hard day? Or, you see a social media post and you're like, whoa, that doesn't sound like their character. Like, refine my thoughts into how can I help pull somebody else out? Because with that, I'll pull myself out, and just shift where being in an act of service or contribution or creating the energy I want to put in the world, that it just makes it's changing it from defining and sticking me in this box to, hey, I can shift this ripple. I can make it go a different direction, and I can actually make something magical, even if it's small, come out of a bad situation.
I like the word you used, shift.
Yeah.
I think that I had a morning a few days ago and I was just sad. I mean, the world just made me sad.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up in the morning and I just cried, right? I'm one of those people that believes you should always express the feelings and get them the heck out.
Yeah.
So I cried, and then I got up and I said, I'm not going to start my morning this way. I cried, I let it go. I turned on my music full blast, jumped, danced around. There you go. Danced around my room to my 80s music and said, this is the energy I want today.
Yeah.
So what I want people listening to, and what Sonia's saying, is that shift can be instantaneous. That shift can be one thing you do differently, one decision you make differently. And look at the things we're talking about. It's so perfect, from the defining it or not letting it define you, refining it,
Mhm.
Sonia's words, and then now shifting it. Those are really powerful things. And I think that's a perfect segue into your chapter, Sonia, because your chapter is really mastermind your way to business and personal development,
Yeah.
or actually personal growth, but it's the same.
Right.
Mastermind your way to business and personal growth. Let's talk about that. Why that chapter? Why was that what you felt you wanted to share in this book?
Well, I think when I saw the post and I was thinking about what to create and where I wanted to go, I kind of had to reflect on where I had been. And so I was coming up on my 5-year anniversary of owning my very first and only business. And in an IT man's world, when people said I wasn't going to be able to do it, I didn't have a degree, all those things. And I thought, well, what was it that got me here? What is something I can be of gratitude in, and just try to, again, I'm always trying to think of where's my mind going, and is it going in the right direction or the wrong direction, and where might I have to shift it? And for me, it was thinking back to why I reached out to a mastermind in the first place, because I didn't know what I didn't know, yet I knew where I wanted to go. And so I was wanting to be with the people who had been going or went or are going that direction, because you are a product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so as it related to my business and what I wanted to try to create, I just looked into peer-to-peer groups, and I found an online ad for a mastermind, and read about Napoleon Hill and how 1 + 1 is 3. When we put 2 minds together, you and I can talk about a potential business idea or product or event, and all of a sudden we're sharing our ideas, and this third mind of amazingness is created. And so there's power in that. There's power in having a space of being vulnerable and being called on for your BS, and when you are being victimy or you are in your own way. And there aren't very many people just in our normal everyday lives that we feel comfortable talking on that level with. And in this context of what's happened in 2020, our bubble has shrunk a little bit because we can only be with certain people because of distancing and whatnot. And I was able to really connect still with my mastermind group to help me a great deal. And I think there's power in just saying, hey, I might not know the answer. What did you do? And could that be a path I should take? Or I'm having this problem, and someone saying, hey, have you ever thought that you might be the problem, that it's not them, or it's not this, it's maybe how you're showing up as a leader, and thinking, oh, what if someone hadn't have shown that? There's many times businesses are bankrupt on what they do with their culture, what they do with their finances. And, to have a board of directors or people around me that supported me, listened to me, held me accountable, called me on my BS a lot, then, I knew that I could get through it. And with 5 years of it, I more than tripled the business. I've grown as a leader. I've learned a lot of hard lessons about myself, and I love being in a space of givers gain, because what people gave to me as a business, I was able to give back, which is why I launched the mastermind group myself this summer, for sure.
I love that One of the key successes for a lot of businesses, and especially we're talking to a lot of women with this book and with the show and podcast and everything, is we learn something and we're like, wait, we've got to show other people how to do that too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even come from a place of like financial gain, or you're already so successful in your consulting company, you don't even need to add another business. But there's something about that I love watching.
Yeah.
Oh, I had so much success. I've got to show as many people as I can how they can be successful, because I didn't know the success I would have.
Right.
So I, first of all, I commend you with that. And that's such a pleasure for me to watch, especially with women that recognize that. And I want to tap into for a few minutes, and then we'll get to the last question of today, is this. When you recognize and you're aware that you can't see for yourself, or be criticize yourself, or see the things that somebody else can, what is your advice to anybody listening or watching to recognize how powerful that is for growth?
I mean, it's really just kind of magical. I think the beauty of being in a group, a mastermind, is, I may not always bring an issue to the table or an opportunity to the table or struggle or a win. Somebody else is. And a lot of times, we attract those people for a reason into our lives. And so being in a space where you can be open to hearing feedback and just saying, I may not like it all, and that's okay. Feedback is feedback. Someone once told me, a coach I loved very dearly, was like, feedback is like a pair of jeans, right? You go into the dressing room, you try a bunch on, and you end up with a pair of jeans that fits, and it's feedback that works. And guess what? You go home with that feedback, and you wear that feedback, and you own that feedback, and the other feedback stays back in the dressing room. And so a lot of times in the mastermind room, or in an opportunity where you can share openly and vulnerably about what it is that you're going through. And if the group is put together beautifully, they push you a little. They push the envelope, right? They'll ask you the next, what some mastermind groups will call a carefrontational question, right? Like, it's a little bit affronting. At the same time, it comes from a place of love, because in those settings, and I find this with women, whether it's in a structured mastermind or not, they come from their heart and they're always wanting to see the best, right? And so when they're asking you those questions, and if you are open and honest with it, what you get back, you can totally apply to your life and make the moves and shifts that you want to create, a life worth living, which is what we all want to do anyway, right?
I would hope so. I mean, I would really hope so. And the idea is really to take away from right now what Sonia's saying is be open to feedback. Call it constructive criticism. Don't call it someone's telling you something's wrong with you or you're doing something wrong. But when you approach feedback with such a positive, wow, thank you, I'm
Yeah.
so glad I can grow. It would be nice if we were all perfect, but it's not going to happen. So we got to all be open to this idea, only if we want to grow. If you don't want to grow, good for you. Stay the way you are. And,
Yeah.
God bless you. But the women, the authors of this book, they're all growing. That's one of the reasons why I called it 21 Journeys to Success, not of Success, because
Mhm.
all of the women in this book are constantly growing, constantly developing, starting new opportunities to their businesses. And I think that's my favorite part. All right,
Yeah.
let's jump into something fun, Sonia.
Gosh,
Tell
I'm
us,
trying.
I know. Tell us something fun, interesting, maybe people might not know about you that we can share.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of like some fun stuff. I think,
Well, it could just be whatever comes. It doesn't have, don't put pressure on.
no, no, no. Well, I mean, I think I recently, in line of just growing and everything, I recently got a tattoo. I don't know
There
if
you
you,
go. What
um,
is it?
it's a jet, which is an
Okay. Oh
airplane.
yeah, now I can see it.
Yeah, it's hopefully you can know. It's in honor of a friend who passed away this year after a very, very long battle with breast cancer. And so three women, two other women, and I got this as a reminder to have jet moments, because she was someone who lived life. Her name was Jeanette, but she went jet like an airplane. That's what she was. Hi, I'm jet like an airplane. And I just like to have that reminder. Like, everyone is going through what we're going through right now, right? And it's stressful and it's hard to be at home. I've found magic in that, and watching my children grow, putting them in the kitchen and having them cook. And this is, just a reminder to always be willing to jump on that jet wherever it's going to go. And it's figuratively, right? Because no one's traveling right now. But if the kids say, let's go do this, or my husband says, let's do this, or, someone enrolls me into some online class, let's just do it. Let's just go and have these experiences and be better for it and not regret this year, right? This year did not define me at all. It refined me in a lot of ways. It humbled me. It strengthened me. It cut me in ways that I thought I might not recover from, but it also opened my heart to connecting with my kids and my husband in a different way. And then reconnecting with women 20 other women who I was super moved when we had our call. Like, wow, there's some very powerful women out there doing some really amazing things, and beautiful, beautiful women on the inside and out. And so
Yes.
this is just a little reminder to just be willing to take the jet and do the moment.
I love it.
Because you never know, tomorrow's not promised, right?
I love it. And I think reminders are so healthy in any way that works for you. We get into robot mode sometimes and we're so crystal clear focused on whatever it is we're doing next. We
Yeah.
forget. And I love reminders, and I have them all over my work office, my home office. It's a constant. So
Yeah.
I love and appreciate that you shared that. How can everyone watching that wants to learn more about your mastermind as well as your consulting company get a hold of you?
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So for the mastermind, you could just reach me at Sonia@catalyst.vegas. So super easy. And then IT consulting business is Taurean. I'm a Taurus. So Taurean, Taurianconsulting.net. So yeah, Sonia@catalyst.vegas is probably the easiest.
Perfect. And all your contact information will be on the website. It'll be in the book. Anybody that wants to get a hold of you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time today. This was such a fun episode for me, and I love a lot of the words that we used together and connected. And thank you to everyone that's watching and listening for another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. I do want you to make sure you grab the book. You can grab it at thesuccessfulwomansmindset.com, or you can grab it online at Amazon or any online retailers. The book is called The Successful Woman's Mindset, 21 Journeys to Success. Thanks so much, Sonia.
Thanks, Khalid.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.